Hey everyone, welcome to the latest edition of Fridays with Fenice on YouTube. So, this week we're going to be talking about how much money do you actually need to buy a house. So, a lot of people have this preconception that you need to have 20% down in order to buy a house, and that is false. You do not need that. You can get something as low as 3%. That's going to be a government loan, typically FHA. You can go 5% on a conventional. If you are a veteran, you can go as 0%. There's also another government loan out there that's a WIDA. And so this is where you essentially have 0% down, and then you have a second mortgage for that down payment. And so that's going to be a much shorter loan, a much smaller one that you just pay off with your mortgage. So you have more money you're paying monthly right away, but it requires you to have zero down. So there are different programs out there. And then the other thing to recognize is each state's going to be different and each situation is going to be different, but there could be a grant that you could qualify for that you would get, for example, say $10,000, and then you pay that back to the state or to the government, whoever is funding that grant. So there are ways to go about this, and it's just wanting to let everybody know that you don't need 20% down in order to buy a house. You can be as low as 5%, 3%, 0%. And then after that, it's just making sure you can cover the closing costs. So typically it's going to be anywhere from like 2 to 3 to 4% of the purchase price. So if you're looking at a $200,000 home, 3% of that would be $6,000. So if you are doing a 3% down FHA loan with buyer closing costs also being 3%, you're looking at a $12,000 needed to buy that house. And then you're making monthly payments. With the 20% that everybody thinks you need, that is so that you don't have private mortgage insurance, PMI. And so if you are under the 20% of debt to loan value, then that's when you have PMI. And that's going to be a monthly cost to ensure the bank gets more because you don't have as much down. And so once you get to that 20% debt to loan value, then you can no longer have PMI. And so the cool thing with that is you can have that checked. So typically you're going to be paying it until you get to that 20%. But what they don't tell you is it's 20% of what your value of the home is. So let's say it's going to take you potentially 5 years to have the PMI down and you're 20% into your loan. However, in 3 years, the market has skyrocketed and your home is now valued at, say, $250 instead of $200. You are going to be very much past the 20%, and you no longer need to pay PMI, which would be saving you 2 years of PMI payments. So 24 months of less money being paid, more for you. So if you need more understanding on your situation and how much you need and what's right for you, the best thing to do is to talk to a local lender that you trust. And if you don't know one, talk to me, because I have several people, and I've got one who has been fantastic for me so far. And that's not just where I'm at right now. I've got them across multiple states. So if you need anything, as always, reach out to me. I'm Chris Fenice, 609-223-5676, your local realtor here in New Jersey and Wisconsin. All right. Have a great one, guys.